What do you want?
I want to see more of that controller.
First of all, we want to see the console.
That's a given.
That's pretty important.
I don't think we actually need. I think that's what's on everyone's mind.
Yeah.
And that's what's been on everyone's mind since that.
I'm happy they didn't show it at the.
That's a smart move.
I finished and then I didn't even realize they didn't show the controller until someone said, "Oh, what is the console?" The console, sorry. Until someone said, "What does the console look like?" I'm like, "Oh, they didn't show it." Oh yeah, but obviously show us the console and games. Now, if Microsoft are going to not launch in the first year, have 15 exclusives, and obviously they're going to show them at their press conference, we need to see games. So Sony does have a strong first-party presence, so I do believe they can, pump out these games.
I want to see something from Epic at E3. I want to see something from Epic for the Xbox.
Now, another thing I want to see for PlayStation, this is probably the one thing that's actually surprising what I want to see, is more on the PlayStation Vita. Now, in the past, the PS Vita, they, besides Wonderbook last year, the Vita parts are always kind of the slow, parts of it, but I feel, well, they basically said the PS Vita is going to be part of the PS4. It's basically going to be an extension of the console. So I want Sony to show us why we want a PS Vita.
But do you honestly know what that one makes me think about? With your little PS Vita connecting to your console?
Yeah.
That makes me think of the Wii U.
Yeah, well, that's basically what it's going to be. So basically, you could stream your games onto your Vita through Wi-Fi. So the PS4 is going to do all the heavy lifting, and basically the Vita acts as a dummy terminal, and it will be running all the games. So they showed it with NAC. That would be pretty interesting. Like, if you could stream any game over...
I think eventually it may not be any game, and there would probably be some limitations.
Well, I know Sony's actually asked developers to put that into their games,
but let's say Bethesda were working on a new Elder Scrolls game. How do you think that would go?
Yeah, that's
something of that.
That's where I want. That's why the proof is in the pudding, and I want to, I want to see that.
Yeah.
So, another thing I want to see is I want to see a new IP by Santa Monica Studios, the developers behind God of War. I want something different from them. I think God of War. I love God of War. I've played every God of War,
but it's becoming a bit of beating the dead horse.
Exactly. Yeah. How many God of War games are there now?
Oh.
You got 1, 2, 3, Ascension, Ghost of Sparta, and Chains of Olympus. That's a lot of God of War. You've covered his whole life. I love Kratos. Maybe leave it for a couple of years and come back. I don't want to see a reboot. I don't want to see nothing like that. But Santa Monica Studios create a new IP. That would be amazing.
You know what I want to see? This one's going to be, I think, not even at E3, but sometime on this next generation of consoles, I think someone needs to step up the game for fighting games.
Yes.
For side-scrolling fighting games. Sure, we've got the ones that we
mean
love.
like 2D fighting?
Yeah. Yeah, your 2D fighting games,
like
your 3D
Mortal Kombat.
Exactly, we've got the ones that we love. We've got those, but it's the same formula. If someone could possibly think of a way...
Yeah, that's true. Well, really,
no one's done it before. It's always just been...
When's the last time there's been like a new IP, like a AAA fighting game?
Exactly.
There is this downloadable ones, or but there is no like big.
I think there's big opportunity for that on this next console.
Exactly.
For someone to really step up the game on the fighting game.
Another thing I want to see from the PlayStation event, which we haven't spoken about, is Gaikai, which is their streaming service. So basically, we were promised during the PlayStation 4 reveal event that games could be, let me just rephrase that. So with Gaikai, backwards compatibility, that's what I was trying to get to. Wouldn't it be awesome if they showed, say they, for some reason, they started playing Gran Turismo 6, which is a PS3 game, okay? They started playing it, you're like, oh, why are they showing PlayStation 3 games at this PS4 event? Then they go, hold on, this is a PS3 game, but it's running through Gaikai on the PlayStation 4. Because that's what we were promised, that would be the answer to backwards compatibility. That we'll be able to stream, through Gaikai our PS3 games.
One thing I really want to see, this would be tough due to all the competition, but I think it would be a smart move with the recent game, Defiance, I believe it was, just recently come out, cross-platform multiplayer. Yep. That would be a risky move, but I think that would be the next step for gaming.
Well, with the whole online issues, and obviously everyone knows that Xbox Live has better internet, but better multiplayer. Better multiplayer, sorry. What I would love if Sony had a paid service as well, before everyone freaks out, as well as the free service.
Yeah.
Now that would get rid of the whole, Xbox, Call of Duty's better on that.
Xbox does have the free service, but the Xbox Silver, which is look, it's pretty much just allowing you to. You just can't do multiplayer.
Earlier today, so I got this news of Kotaku, and a recent article basically, Shuhei Yoshida was once again asked about the online check. So obviously the Xbox One has to connect online at least once a day. Once every 24 hours.
Look, everyone's getting outraged by that.
Yeah.
I was outraged by it too, but just...
Like, for someone like us who haven't, an internet connection all the time, it's no problem. But there is a lot of people that do not have internet.
Yeah, like, if I didn't have internet connection, I wouldn't be playing a game because I'd probably be in the corner crying.
So this is his response. Oh, yes, you can go offline totally. Being social is big for us, but we understand that some people are antisocial. So if you don't want to connect to anyone, you don't have to, basically. As well, as for the issue of used games, a spokesperson from Sony replied with, "We are just now announcing the basic version of our strategy for the PS4. We'll have more information regarding this later this year, so hopefully at E3. But PlayStation has a long history of keeping gamers happy, and we won't make our decisions that will damage our relationship with them. Hopefully. Hopefully.
One thing that I just realised we have not spoken about yet, controllers.
Controllers, yes. So what did you think of the Xbox One controller?
I've got some mixed feelings about that. I mean,
the good first. We'll start off. They fixed the D-pad.
Yep, and they've pretty.
You want to open up the image of the controller?
They've kept it pretty straightforward. They've got the same thing that Sony's been doing for the last how many years. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're leaving it the same. They've done a few little alterations.
So the main ones, you got they fixed the D-pad. With the triggers, they have a rumble feature now. So basically, if you're shooting a bullet in Call of Duty, you have a little bit of vibration.
I can guarantee though, I'll turn that off.
One thing I do like about the controller is the feature where they can tighten up the actual triggers. So for a gun that I don't know anything about guns, but for a gun that's harder to shoot or something, they can make it tighter.
Yeah, like if the game does that automatically.
What a lot of people don't actually know is the Xbox logo, the icon on the top of the controller, is actually a button.
The home screen button.
The home screen
button.
Not
the dashboard button.
Dashboard button. So, there is two little... They got rid of the start and back button, is that what it is on the Xbox?
Yeah.
And in replacing that, we have basically two buttons, which looks like it's basically a screen.
Those are going to be integrated... I was looking into this a little bit.
Yeah.
Those are going to be integrated with the games, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's pretty much.
So that one's basically a Windows button, so that will get you back to the.
Yeah.
You can have those multiple windows open at once.
Yeah, and the other one, I was just watching a video. This was a couple weeks ago. I don't know if this is exactly what they were hoping for, but it's pretty much what I think would be pretty cool. It's integrated with the game, so it's another button for the game.
Yeah.
It's a sort of menu or an inventory button. So say you're playing a game. Let's just go with the typical zombie survival horror.
Yep.
You've got all these items that you need. Let's say they were to do a DayZ sort of game on the console. You just hit that button and it opens up.
You can say Xbox One, open up menu.
Let's
come on.
That'd be.
Yeah, I know. But the controller looks fine.
Yeah.
I've got no problems with it. There was this thing on IGN. It was basically a 3D view. You can actually just look around the console. With the controller, I know that not the triggers, what are the buttons on top of the triggers?
They were just buttons.
The button things.
Bumpers. That was it.
PlayStation. Bumpers. They go inwards. So instead of being like just a normal button, they really go in. They go deep into the actual controller. And they're actually pretty wide. They're a wide button. Which is, again, interesting. So overall, I like the controller. I've got no problems with it.
The PlayStation controller, that's the PlayStation 4 controller.
DualShock 4, yeah. Thoughts?
Looks a little bit. Well,
they've kept the main design, so they still have the overall shape. So you honestly,
I've got mixed feelings about it.
Alright, we'll start with what you do like. So like what we did for the Xbox One. What did you like?
They've kept it pretty much the same.
Yeah, and what you don't like?
It looks like it may have all this new fancy stuff in it, but look-wise, if I'm going completely on appearance and how I feel about the looks of it, I feel like they've taken a step back, or they've taken a step towards those those weird controllers that everyone had that the guest had to play with.
Well, well, they fixed the analog sticks. They got like a little indentation now, so you can put your thumb, rest it on the little indents.
Yeah, they had that on the Xbox.
Yeah, I know. That's one thing they fixed.
Welcome to the 21st century.
Okay, so Xbox had that. Microsoft had that first. We had the D-pad, proper D-pad. Anyway, we're not gonna have a little fanboy fight here. I'm giving these guys, as much as people don't believe me, people I know, and it's like, you're always defending Sony and this and that. I will give Microsoft a chance if they prove it to me. I need proof. I'm not going to sit there
I think they need to prove this Xbox One to me.
Exactly. It's not just me. A lot of people think that, the Xbox One needs to show more before they'll be invested.
I was beyond faithful to
with the
Xbox.
controller, just open it up again, the PS4 controller. So basically what they've done, they made it a bit more bigger, a bit more wide, a bit more chunkier, which people have been asking for.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people saying,
I always felt like, I'm just playing with a little kid's toy.
oh, small hand. So for me,
So you're a freak.
I'm a freak. They fixed the triggers, because I know the one thing with the PlayStation 3 controller, when you used to put it down onto the bench, you press buttons. That was one thing.
See, look at this size difference. Look at that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And one thing Xbox One has, they've actually found a way to put the battery compartment inside the controller.
You see, I
wonder where they could have,
Yeah, where did they get that idea from?
But
I've got to say, I think that was something they shouldn't have changed because look, your fingers fit in there nicely.
Well, a lot of people don't like it though.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are stupid.
So the PS4 controller. Anyway, so it's bigger. They fixed the analog sticks. You got the indentations. Obviously, the biggest addition is the touchpad. It's not a touch screen. I know people will be like, oh, it's like the Wii U. It's a touchpad. So basically, the back of the Vita.
I want to know a bit more about that. I want them to show some of that.
You know what I think it would be? I really, was it your stomach? He was making noises. What I think would be cool. So imagine you're playing a game, okay? And as he said, survival horror zombie game, okay? So you want to open up your inventory or whatever. You just swipe. And it'll just like flicker across the screen.
See, I was thinking that kind of stuff as well.
That would be cool. I don't think it's going to be like drawing things or maybe like you're opening a door, you put your thumb on as a scanner or something. But no, Sony's not going to do something where you have to take your hand off the controller to do something.
That would be pretty dumb.
So,
if there was a way they could make it so instead
that's why
of,
I think it's a bit wider, so your thumbs, so that's another addition, and PlayStation Move is integrated into the controller now. So, I don't know if you saw the image, there's a big colour, the blue colour.
So how would that go if you were playing a game of PlayStation Tennis?
I think obviously it will be used for different things, but the colours represent, player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4. So it's easy to identify, you're player 2 because you're purple or whatever. And obviously the colours are going to stick to the PlayStation colours. So the controller I can live with. Obviously I want to get a hands-on feel of it, and I will be because I'm going to PAX. So I'll have a whole video up there. I'll be recording everything. So that would be interesting. So PAX Australia, PAX in East is already gone, but we got it in July 19th. So it'll be after E3. Hopefully we get all that stuff.
I'm enjoying seeing that Australia's finally get some more recognition with these big name conventions. There was Comic-Con last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't go to that because that was a disaster, but that's another story.
So that's basically it for the conferences. So basically, Microsoft need to show us more games and prove themselves. And
Microsoft need to show us a lot.
What's also interesting is Sony's got the last conference. So Sony started off the conversation about next gen, Wii U technically, but Sony started it off, so everything was all PlayStation. Microsoft hit in, Microsoft. Then they'll hit in again. People are like, oh, Microsoft, and then Sony's just going to cut them off. That's what I think they're going to do. That's smart. If they can just cut them off.
They're going to start it, and they're going to finish what they
Well, think about it. Microsoft reveal. The day before Sony released a teaser for their for their console, which is basically, a couple of murky... Oh, look, there's the corner of the controller.
It was like a monster walking around in the fog.
So you got that. That kind of like, that's still, it's lingering in your mind. Oh, the PlayStation 4. After that, they started, I was watching a video yesterday. PlayStations are dedicated to developers. They had a lot of developer interviews. Like yesterday, I was I was watching a video on Killzone. Killzone 4, sorry. And how the developers are working on the console and what their opinions, which is interesting. So that's basically it. Out of 10, what would you rate the Microsoft rating? Honestly.
I'm not going to say it. I know what
Honestly.
I know what number you think I'm going to say. I'm going to give it a 4.
Oh, okay. That's really low. I was thinking...
1?
No, I don't want to be... Honestly, probably about a 6. They did some things right. They did nothing.
They
They showed the console. There's something.
They did that right.
But I don't know. Just something. It wasn't as terrible as people are making it out to be. Like they said that they weren't going to be showing games at this press event, which in my opinion is wrong. But they did say it, so it's not like we were expecting games unless you just went in to watch it. But yeah. Well, the look of the console. Obviously, we can't judge the PS4, but out of 10, what do you judge it?
The Xbox.
The Xbox.
Look, I've got some mixed feelings about this. I like that it's got a nice...
They're obviously going to get rid of the red ring of death. There are so many fan vents off this thing. The whole top there is a fan vent, the sides.
I think that's a pretty good thing. I like the square, bulky look. I like that
I know,
it looks like
a lot of people don't... I love the
beastly,
beast.
but
yeah.
There's just something looking at it that it'll look a bit out of place.
See, I like it. I like the whole design. Now, the one thing I'm worried about is look at the sides of the Kinect.
Yeah.
By the sides of this image, obviously, you know, we got to see it in real life. It looks like it's basically...
The size of the console.
Yeah. But once again, we'll see that. The PS4, we can't judge the console, obviously.
Hopefully we'll get to soon, though.
Hopefully. So what do you think of the overall press conference? Pre-future PlayStation conference?
I think it was pretty good.
I reckon a solid 8,
Yeah.
definitely. I'm not just saying that because they're the PlayStation.
No,
they
I
showed
would give it around the
games.
same as well.
They showed games. They showed controls. They showed.
They've got me intrigued.
That's because I'm interested in. I don't just play games. I love like listening to the developers. You know how they made the video, how they make the game. So I like hearing developers saying, you know, we love working with Sony, and they're focusing on on indie games as well. So you'll be able to post. Like Microsoft is notorious for having, you know, issues with posting indie games on the Xbox.
Microsoft is notorious for issues in general.
So yeah, that's basically it. Obviously we'll do a E3 video after the E3. Hopefully our expectations are met.
Hopefully they're blown away entirely.
Finally, I want to just talk about used games. I can see a pre-owned game over there.
Yeah.
What is it?
Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive. Yeah. Anyway, what's your opinions on the used game market? I have mixed feelings about it, honestly.
I like the used game market because there's those times where you're just low on money. You see there's this amazing game that's just come out. Or maybe you don't know if it's amazing yet. You don't know if it's worth that $120 that we sometimes have to pay. Someone's felt the same and they've traded it back. We can get it for say $40, $60.
See, I agree with that. Like for people that need, you know, people want to play games. The games are expensive. It's an expensive hobby. Like someone like me, I buy nearly every AAA title that's out, and I'm like, ugh. You know, and even some games I know that aren't going to be really good, I'll buy. Like, Fuse launched last week, made by Insomniac. That's their first multi-platform game. So it's not on the PS3. It's, you know, Insomniac's opened their horizons. And surprisingly, that game's not doing too well. It's been getting, you know, median, you know, 6, 7s. But, you know, they've gone on their own, and it's just interesting to see what they do. But that's, you know...
That's the story for...
So the used games,
used games.
My opinion is, obviously I don't buy used games. My opinion, reason I don't, is I'm a neat freak, first of all. So I want everything in brand new, put the disc, you know, slowly into the machine.
You don't want those horrible sticker residue. I think if they can if stores can fix those horrible stickers that they put on their used games, used game markets will just soar.
I don't leave the disc into the console. I don't leave discs anywhere. I've got them all in like neat order on my little thing. But that's one reason, and the other reason is, as I said earlier, when you buy a pre-owned game, none of the money goes into the developer, and the developers are the ones that should be getting credit for the game. Obviously, my input's not doing much, me buying a new game, but I just feel like if more people...
The thing is, they have already got the money for the game.
But some games don't. Tomb Raider didn't meet expectations, but once again, I think that was Square's fault. Their marketing was terrible, and since then, hopefully they fixed it. But some game developed, like Alan Wake, for example. That game sold heaps, but it didn't... when games get launched, they have a little window where that profit... if they get a good profit within that window, if they get enough money, that's when they'll get the rights to make the second game. So whoever publishes it will say, alright, you got enough money, move on. Now, Alan Wake has sold heaps, but that was after the window, after it went on Steam and stuff like that. So, or people bought it pre-owned, so that's why there is no Alan Wake 2?
Or whatever they call it.
Or whatever they call it. Yeah, so, you know, that's why I don't buy used games. I understand, like, my younger brother, my mum, bought him a 3DS. He's only like 6 years old at the moment. Even though you're not meant to be using a 3DS until you're 7, Anyway, she buys, you know, he'll go trade in his old games. For them, I understand, but it's kind of like, it's not black, it's not white, it's like a grey, like it's murky. And I think the way that they're going to stop it isn't going to work. Like, there's too much backlash against that. So,
but yeah, there's I guess those are our expectations for this.
This has been a long video. Hope you enjoyed. Please comment, like, and subscribe.
I hope you watched the whole thing, and if you did, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I am really sorry if you watched this whole thing.
So that's our opinions. We'll be back after E3.
Yep.
Doing another video.
Which is, when was it again?
E3 starts June 7th to June 10th.
Yeah, it's just a couple
So
days.
I'll be watching all the press conferences. I know Konami's first, which is interesting. I want to see Castlevania Lord of the Shadow 2. I want to see who's voicing Solid Naked Snake.
I'm gonna have to rely on you for the first 2 days of it. Probably the whole conference.
I'll be on holiday, so
for the whole conference, I'm just gonna need you to keep bombarding me with everything.
With that, hopefully, I've got a feeling that the original voice for Solid Snake will be back. So there's that. Then there's Microsoft. I can't remember the order, but Microsoft's first, and Sony's at the last line. And then in between there's Ubisoft and stuff like that. So I'll be watching all of them. That's all in one day. So it's basically the whole night for me is over. Except for Konami, that's the day before.
Hopefully it all goes well.
Hopefully it goes well. Nintendo, I think that's another video we've got to do. Nintendo's marketing is just weird. But, as I said, another video for another day. So thanks for watching. Check out the Facebook page. Link will be below.
Give us, like, subscribe, comments,
that
share,
type of stuff.
whatever. You know, the usual. It's at every video.
Yeah. What's going on, guys?
Come on, please.
Please.
Throw me a bone here.
Okay, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you after E3.
Yep, alright. That was it.
See ya.
It's a wrap.